What's going on, y'all? David Conrad Block back for another video of the GT Adventures series in Tahoe. Today is June 4th, 2023, and today we are heading to Carson City for the Railroad Museum that is located there. There may be some other things we see as well, but for now, the main focus is the Railroad Museum. That's coming up. So we are here at the Railroad Museum. It's called the Nevada State Railroad Museum. And today, there's a lot of things we plan on doing. They have like a whole exhibit with communications, all kinds of artifacts that they used back in the day. We might also get to see up close view of an actual working steam train. So if that happens, keep an eye out for it. But for now, we're just going to take a look around the museum. This is an example of one of the mine carts that they used back in the mine shafts. Really cool model of it. You just gotta appreciate this very beautiful Seth Thomas grandfather clock here in the lobby of the office. You can see there's the counterweight that pulls the spring. Gimme. Plus the pendulum, gracefully swinging back and forth. There's a lot of stuff in the gift shop that we'll take a look at later. For now, let's enjoy the museum. Coming up. Apparently, this whole building where the store is was actually the original concourse. The part where the museum is today was an add-on. We are standing on the original platform. Have a front view look. So you can see over here, this is the original platform. If I had to guess, it was made out of wood at one point, but now it is concrete. A lot of old historic equipment that people used on trains at one point. Nowadays it's all electric and diesel, but this was the powerhouse back in the day. Here's another cool clock. It's like standard. And the time is just 20 minutes to 11. This over here is some scale models of the various locomotives, or steam locomotives I should say. Some of these models are very old, some being in 1937, 1941. There's this model which was modeled in 1910 after an 1873. And then this one is even older. This one right here, 1906. This little thing was kind of like a hand car. Like, similar to when people made train cars and locomotives, and you'd have one person on one side, one person on the other, pushing up and down to move the cart. But this guy, George S. Sheffield, who was a cabinet maker in Three Rivers, Michigan, was tired of walking to and from work along the Central Railroad track. In 1877, he designed and built a three-wheeled track car similar to this exact model. It was a leg and arm motion combination. Unfortunately, he had no right to use the track, so he decided to travel only in the dark. However, one night he came across a broken rail and his lantern flagged down the train, preventing a disaster. This, of course, brought his homemade track car to the railroad's attention, and he made recognition of his heroic service. He was allowed to continue traveling on the track, and the company asked Sheffield to build another car for their use. He patented his design in 1879 and established the George S. Sheffield Co. to manufacture the product. Here's another view of the unit. You can see all the gears that were used to use the wheel connected to the handle that Sheffield moved the cart with. You are looking at the front with the cabin of a steam locomotive. You can see all the gauges. Pressure. There's the opening for the boiler. All the control levers, the hand wheels, and some of the pipes. You can also see the cord that is used to blow the whistle as well. And there's a lantern. Very, very impressive. This right here is actually the coal car for the locomotive used in this next locomotive. There's something behind me which I'll show you here in a sec, starting now. This is a very unique model, and as far as I know, this is what is used on the old steam locomotives. Yeah. Here's the sign that says it's called the Baker valve gear, which demonstrated its action to student engineers and mechanics. The patent model provided a tangible illustration of an inventor's idea for a rail joint, while the coupler models allowed salesmen to carry samples of the products in their suitcases. Right here is some of the couplings, right here and here. And then this is the valve for the steam locomotive. Very cool. These are some of the records for the different routes that they have taken, including filings. And this is a map of the original Reno train station. These right here are actually some communication purposes, including a typewriter, very old typewriter. And then you'll also see here there is a telephone and telegraphs as well. You gotta remember that telegraphs were really important in writing letters. As so was the telephone. That brought a lot of changes to America, and it spread to the world too. Nowadays we have cell phones, and technology really changes. Here are some of the lanterns and lamps that were used on the trains, including marker lamps and even lights that were on the front of the locomotive. And sometimes lamps can have different colors to have unscheduled or scheduled train. And it's very, very unique. The caboose also had whistles, which I never knew about until now. I've seen other videos of cabooses. I don't know though. But there's a lot of warning signals that were used. And this is one of the larger whistles. And there were bells as well. This is pottery. Very cool pottery here. Looks like some kind of containers that people made. And this was actually by the Chinese. There's also a fifth plate style rail connector, which was adopted by CPRR in 1866. There was a variety of tools, such as this folding chain, which was used for measuring. And I believe this shovel was for shoveling coal. And this is by Virginia and Truckee. Windows are open. For this car, a little bit brighter, like it's a slightly lighter color than the last set of wheels we saw. You see the springs and all the other things. Very impressive. There was a map here on the floor that shows the entire route that the trains took throughout California and Nevada, San Francisco, Stockton, Sacramento, and you can say see it in motion. See, there's the valves and the piston, then the wheel. Very cool. This is the handwheel train car. And this handwheel is actually what's great. Also, couplings and connects to the car. It's very unique how it works. So we are now going out to the outside where we can see some of the different working locomotives and cars. Let's do it. So here's the mine carts and other carts that are used. Very nice artifacts. So now we're checking out the McKeen Motorcar number 22. One of the final ones that work. Let's take a look. Holy smokes. This is the other stairs. You got huge cabin, lots of seats, lots and lots of seats. There's also a seat that loops around at the very back. Very unique design. We can move toward the front. Here's more chairs, windows. There's even mounts where you can put the windows, keep it open. Here, here's where the engines are. You can see the engines right there. This is an insane setup. Amazing. the other side. This, as far as I believe, completely original engine. And it's a diesel too. These are some very interesting contraption. Handles, gearbox, it's a coin press. Excuse me, I'm coming by. I'm recording, sorry. And right here is the lantern. These are some big lanterns for that time. Oh, I think these are the fireplace bellows. Like the huge ones that blacksmiths use. That is impressive. Very impressive technology back then. You can see there's the smokestack, the light, the number of the train, the bell, whistle. Very impressive. The next clip you will see is a ride on a historic motor car. Enjoy.
Lyrics went something like in the upper turn away from still unknown. He'll ride forever deep the streets of Boston. He's the man who never returned. So anyway, we're going to go down here to switch number 3. We'll back up to switch 1. We'll do the loop 3 times. So we'll make this flag stops. I'll tell you a little bit about this. Because we're going over switches and have to slow down for switches and now switches. We'll get to it. Harry is going to give him a hand signal when he wants to stop. Right now. Signals. Gary's giving him it's okay to come along. That's a variation of pull away from me, or a variation of come toward me in this case. Since Gary's there, Steve is there, Steve is going towards Gary. When they get up top, they will stop. There will be a whistle signal on me, which means that he just applied the brakes. Gary will get off and go down and through the switches. He'll come back and he'll get a little bit of release. There's your signal. Because Gary is right on the bone. In this maneuver, Gary is the eyes of the motor. That's the name of this car. That's the railroad on which this operates. Why haven't we seeded this? We did, you know what those are. Okay. We're from Arizona. I do not know. Oh, Meg. But I know Tucson and I know Philadelphia. We'll get to that. Well, I'm born and raised there. It's a fun story. It's a fun story. We'll get to that. We're going to in our group. We have fun with the kids coming in here from the school. They come in here and we go. I said, you're not out of school. They go, there'll be a test before you get off. And their eyes open up, like, oh my God. car was built in 1926 to operate from Tahoe to Gila Bend, Arizona. There was an open pit mine in Tahoe. And all the shopping at that time was being done in Gila Bend. It even took kids to school. 43 miles up, 43 miles back. 1926 until 1947. They kept it on the books, on the inventory until 1955, after which it went down to Travel Town. It's a transportation museum in Griffith Park. Following that, it went to an outfit called, I just missed it. Anyway, Shortline Enterprises, thank you, which was a holding company, so to speak, for a lot of the equipment that we're using in movies and things like that. Following Shortline Enterprises, it ended up in 1976 as the Washoe Zephyr, painted red, up in Virginia City. Ran for about a year and a half, 2 years up there. We acquired it back in about the 1980s. We repainted it back to what it was supposed to be, what we thought it was, or whatever everyone we researched it was. In time for a big rail festival at the California State Railroad Museum in 1999. And we've had it ever since we've had it operating. However, 1943, right in the middle of World War II, the original four-cylinder motor went belly up. And you're in the middle of the war and you're trying to, you need to get it back in operation and everything else, so you're just going to have to scrounge around. You can't order a new motor. You have to scrounge around, and they found a 6-cylinder engine. And they reconditioned it, but it wouldn't fit, of course, so they had to move the radiator out and everything else. All right, that's fine. So they're going along wise, and all of a sudden what gives out now? There's too much torque for the transmission, so the transmission goes. So anyway, to make a long story short, we're now operating with a small diesel engine and a diesel hydraulic type transmission. Okay, it had ventilation, it had heating along the floors. Back here, if you're thirsty, between Tahoe and Gila Bend, they put ice and all that back in there, and there was a place a decanter down here. The next door says toilet. The reason for this motor, having a motor car, is like the same reason when you go in, if you haven't already seen it, the McKeen car. It takes one person to operate, 2 people at the most. You don't need a crew of 5, 6, or 7, and your warm-up time is about 10 or 15 minutes as opposed to 10 or 15 hours. And the time of the length of time for a steam engine is 20 to 30% of its lifetime is spent in maintenance of some sort or another. The infrastructure is terribly expensive. And that's why a lot of the railroads, like even Union Pacific and everything else, went and said, find me a way to save. And of course, McKeen car and this car is. Okay, names real quickly. Tucson, hopefully that's where it went. That's where the ore went. It made it to Gila Bend. Cornelia, you Arizonans that are aboard. Where did that name come from? Cornelia. Tucson, Cornelia, and Gila Bend. You Arizona people. No? Okay, that was the wife of the principal operator of the mine. And at one time, Tahoe was going to be named Cornelia. They had to move the town. They had to move the town when they started building the mine, and they were going to name it Cornelia. And the original what was left of the original town burned down. And at least that's the history we have. And so they said, oh, we'll keep the same name because everyone knew where Tahoe was. So anyway, do that as it may. Thank you very much. And we'll go around one more time and then we'll go back to the station. About the Sears catalog, the Monkey Ward catalog.
Some of the old controls
well, they call them
that were used with this train that we were on.
Because he swore that
and I'm about to blow the whistle. Here we go.
Well, when they finally brought him down, he had to use.
Alright, so this is a little fireplace bellow, and what it has is a whistle on top. And if you squeeze it here, would you mind holding this, please? Yes, please. No, okay, this works. And there it goes. Okay, thank you so much. And that's it. So we're here in the gift shop. This is some of the very unique items that are available to purchase. Some of the official merchandise of the Nevada State Railroad Museum. You got some very cool keychains and, excuse me, a lot of things. Battleborn, there's some shirts that you can get. And apparently there's a model of a railroad crossing light plus a lantern. I just met one of the very popular YouTube channels. His channel is called Dar's Customs. I'll put a link in the description down below. He is actually a disabled veteran, so we gotta salute him for his service. But not only is he a veteran, but a lot of his videos on the YouTube channel are scale models of different trains and stuff. So definitely check out his channel as well. I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much. So this museum was built in memory of Carl O. Jacobson and Valborg Jacobson, plus Peter Jacobson. The contributions to the state of Nevada have made this building possible, built in April 1990. Alright, y'all, that was a tour of the Nevada State Railway Museum. That's going to be part 1 for day 3. Next week, we'll be going to the Nevada State Museum. So if you want to see that, then please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And I'll see you next time on the GT Adventure series, Tahoe Edition. Peace.